Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
okay, all right.
This is
Yeah,
why we needed to figure it out prior. So
that's
sorry
true.
about
No, no,
that.
no. It's no worries, no worries. I know you were
Okay.
really busy, and look, you joined at last minute, so I
Yeah.
really really appreciate that. I know it was like a scramble to get you on here, so I think
Yeah.
we are deserved a little bit of technical difficulties based on how much we rushed this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys.
Well, I'm
So
glad to be here.
yeah, thank you so much. How's the little one? How's Ruby doing?
Oh, she's asleep for maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, look, this won't take 2 hours. I'll ask you some
okay.
questions and we'll get out of here. I did pin your link
Yeah.
tree. I let everybody know. I got a couple people
Oh,
saying they
great.
subscribed to you already, so that's cool.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so, for those of you guys who don't know, Lauren joins us tonight, also known as Southern Belle Bourbon. Right? She shares her, I guess, mainly your adventures on Instagram right now, right?
Yes. Yes, correct.
Yep. So, showcasing, I guess, in my opinion, and probably a majority of my audience's opinion, the finer parts of life dealing with bourbon, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So she's the founder of Southern Belle Bourbon, right?
So, yeah, yeah, Southern Belle Bourbon. Yep.
Okay. So they are like an Atlanta bourbon ladies group. I got to give you my wife's cell phone number, Lauren, after
Yeah, so
this.
yeah, Bourbon Bells of Atlanta is the Whiskey Women's group.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And you guys are like a growing community of women in Atlanta. You
Yes.
do bourbon, whiskey, scotch. I think you said cocktails and maybe tastings too.
Yeah, we want to do geared towards educational tasting just to get more women into it, or women that are wanting to be into it a little bit more, give them a
Okay.
little bit more education.
Fun. And then I saw a little teeny blurb at the bottom that said, and maybe trips.
Yes, yeah, trips in the future, that is definitely on the list to maybe go to Kentucky like once a year and do a whole out tour on a tour bus with a bunch of women drinking whiskey. So,
I mean, that sounds amazing. Okay, definitely have to give you
yeah.
my wife's cell phone number
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
All right, and then let's see. So, tasting events, theaters. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, we're gonna just talk and go through a couple questions here. But if Mark Gale with a $10 super chat, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. No comment though, but thank you, Mark, for the donation. Appreciate that. If you guys have any questions for Lauren while we're talking, throw it in the chat, and then I'll come back to it. And while we're talking, if anything comes up that you guys want to know, just throw it in there, and we will get to it. So, all right, Lauren, again, thank you so much. I know this was a crazy night, but what
You're
initially
welcome.
drove you into like the world of bourbon and like what excites you about this space? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, well, okay, so I've always grown up, I grew up drinking bourbon with my older brother. It was like Jim Beam, Wild Turkey. Didn't really know what I was drinking back then because I was definitely underage. So I was probably mixing it with Sprite and Coke and probably wasn't enjoying it. But after, over time it started becoming an acquired taste. And then 2014, I got divorced, got a second job at Total Wine in the spirit section and started learning from the guys who've been in the industry for years. And they started teaching me the history and the science. And I got super excited about learning. And I'd pick up a bottle in the store and be like, oh, what about this bottle? And they'd be like, oh, that's crap. Put it back. Like, don't ever look at that again. And they have something really cool at Total Wine where they can send you a bottle home and like pass it around to all the employees. So we started doing that and I started tasting better things. And actually, when I was in the store at Total Wine, was my very first post. I was like a bottle of Widow Jane or something. So if you go back to like 2015, that's the bottle on there. So that gets me excited, just the history and the science and learning about it. And that's how Southern Belle Bourbon started, just in Total Wine.
yeah, it's interesting to hear how everybody kind of gets sucked into this space. So,
Yeah.
so have you ever found where somebody says, "Put that back, it's crap," and then you kind of go venture on your own and come back to that bottle, and you're like, you know what? I don't think that is crap. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, that happens a lot. And then also opposite, especially in like
Yeah.
the bourbon world, people are always posting like, this is amazing, this is amazing. And then you buy it, you spend $100 on it and you're let down because it's not good.
Yeah, so one of those bottles for me was Blanton's. I have not found a single barrel that I have liked yet. I don't know why.
It's not good. Blanton's gold is okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
regular Blanton's, yeah,
yeah,
there it is. So
yeah, yeah,
pretty.
yeah. The gold bottle's
I
pretty
drank
good.
mine already, so I can't show you mine.
Oh, okay. I saw you pick something up. Are you drinking something right now?
Oh yeah, so I am drinking Kentucky Peerless. This is a
Oh,
release, Sweet Heat.
yeah,
They sent it to me. It's really good. It's very hot. Sweet
nice.
Heat is. What are you drinking? You
I'm
probably got
I'm
it
drinking.
open.
Yeah, I sent you the video. I'm drinking the Nightmare Pliers bottle.
Yeah.
This is the representative. I assume it's MGP. It says it's out of Indiana. There's not a lot of info on it. 75 corn, 21 rye, 4% malted barley. It's actually not bad. It's very young, 4 years. Well, it says
The
at least.
bottle is really pretty.
Yeah, it's surprisingly it's not bad. So I'm
Very
enjoying it.
nice.
We got Giselle's Boston says, Lauren, congratulations on your baby Ruby.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. 17 days old now. You
17
can't
years.
tell. I have like bags under my eyes. No sleep.
Cannot tell at all. Mothers have an amazing ability to just go on zero sleep all the time. So
That's true. Yeah.
all right, what is like your most memorable experience in the bourbon space so far?
Okay, so back in 2019, I was like pretty into the bourbon world already, but it was like my first invite to an event, which was the coolest event I've ever been to. It's called Bourbon in Time. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it's just a bunch of bourbon influencers meet in Kentucky, and we go to a bunch of distilleries on a bus. But the coolest part was, yeah, it was probably pretty dangerous, all of the bourbon influencers on one bus, but it was mainly at Bardstown. And so we had a bunch of master classes, and all the distilleries came into Bardstown. But the coolest was drinking Four Roses Al Young with Al Young. Coolest experience ever. I wish
Okay.
I could like photo drop the photo of it because I'm holding Al Young and then Al Young's in the back, like signing the bottles.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a really cool experience and also a fun event.
The question is, was a bourbon influencer driving the bus? That's the important
No,
part.
no, no.
Okay.
It was definitely like a paid tour.
Yeah, okay,
Tour
fair enough.
guide who had to put up with all of us drinking, but it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
So Baker Drinks, Laura, I think I was mentioning her to you actually when we were
Oh
talking on
yeah,
the
you
phone.
did.
I think she's out of Washington. Laura, correct me if I'm wrong. She says, I would love to get more involved with Women of Whiskey group, but the closest to
Yeah.
me is over an hour away, and their fun-looking events are on weeknights, so it's a struggle to get to. Are there any options or any other thing that she might be able to look into for that? Something to find something closer to her that you know of?
I don't know about Washington. I do know that there are a lot of whiskey women groups that have like chapters in different states.
Uh-huh.
If you want to send me your area, maybe I can try to do some research. If you want to send me a DM on Instagram, and I can try to figure that out for you.
Cool. All right. Thank you. So there
Yeah,
you go, Laura.
you're welcome.
Make a great new friend. Okay, I didn't know if that was a comment to you or not. All right. Where do you see your bourbon journey headed? I know you kind of mentioned a couple things to me, but I wanted to just kind of lob that over to you, give you a
Yeah,
chance to
so
talk
I'm
about where you're going.
yeah, so obviously I have my Instagram now and it's great. It's been growing. But a few things that I'm working on is a YouTube channel. We'll see how the channel goes, but it's going to be really cool. We're going to be going and doing tours of distilleries and have me walking around the distillery, getting a tour, and have private tastings and me interviewing master distillers or owners of distilleries, which would be kind of cool and different from that perspective. So that will be happening hopefully soon. I'm hoping maybe in a couple weeks I'll do my first one. We'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. You got to at least
Yeah,
get the placeholder for your YouTube channel, and
I
then
know. I definitely
do
need
you
to
have
do that.
anything right now, just like where people can go subscribe until you get it ready?
No.
All
This was kind of
right.
just like this was kind of just like over the weekend, this past weekend conversation with my partners. We were like
All right, well,
trying
guys,
to talk about
subscribe to her
something.
Instagram, and I'm sure you'll update everybody there when you get a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it'll be on there on my Instagram. I'll probably put on my story in a post, and then also my link tree. I'll have it on there too.
Yeah, I'm sure that the whole YouTube community will flock over to you. We have a lot of fun together. The bourbon community, as I mentioned to you, has been amazing so far. We have a lot of fun together. I don't know if you did you watch the intro at all?
I did. It was definitely unique.
Yeah, so Major Zero, he's in the chat. Somehow this guy can walk outside and find a stag for $59 just sitting on the shelf. So he just
Wow.
he like buys them all day long. So he's known as like the stag villain. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's a very cool name.
yeah, exactly. And so anyway, so that was kind of like a collaboration between a couple of different YouTubers, but that's the fun that we have
Yeah.
together. So see,
That's what the go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, so you can get involved in all this craziness, and you live in Atlanta, so you're close. We could do something local. That would be really fun.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we absolutely should. But the bourbon community is awesome. Every single person I've met, like online in person, has been phenomenal. And that's what the bourbon community is about. Just getting together and learning from each other. So
Yeah, I agree. So I started this channel in April, and the amount of stuff I've learned just from watching everybody and meeting everybody and talking to everybody is unbelievable. Like where I was 4 months ago and where I am now, you grow like so fast when you just encompass yourself with people that are in this space and that are so much more knowledgeable than you. So
yeah,
I've really been enjoying it.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
before we move on to the next question, you and I share a familiar distillery legends.
Yes.
So that's so that's the only distillery tour that I've done. I'm sure you've done way better ones than that. But what I can say though is even with that one, you're using like the barrel thief drinking from the barrel. It's been so much fun. I can't imagine all the fun you're gonna have with that. So I'm gonna live vicariously through those videos
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
you
But you
start
need to go.
posting.
You could go to Kentucky and go to all the distilleries up there and do some tours.
I would absolutely love to. Absolutely. So I got a Legends Distillery tour video on my channel, but it's like 40 minutes long. It's like way too
40
long.
minutes.
I know. It's like
What are you doing in 40 minutes?
way too much talking, way too much everything. It was a very, very, very early video before I realized
Yeah.
you should make content way shorter.
Yeah.
But it is on there if anybody wants to go watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch it now because I'm very curious.
All right, all right, fair enough. So,
Yeah.
all right, Major Zero actually, the stag villain, before this live, he was talking about how one of his coworkers, I think, was trying to find like a $200 to $300 bottle of bourbon for like some kind of like state representative or somebody like big shot.
Fancy.
So I recommended this. I don't know if you've had this. Have you had this Boondocks 18?
I have not.
So I recommended that to him. This is like one of my favorite bottles of all time. But this kind of pigtail, or I guess piggybacks into the question, what criteria do you consider when you recommend bottles to people who ask you, like, hey, what should I get?
Right. Well, I usually try to find out, what their palate normally is, if they are like rye drinkers or if they like the higher proof stuff, or if they're beginners. I don't want to be recommending 120 proof for somebody who's just getting started.
Right, right.
So usually I try to find out that, or I'll just tell them my top favorites, depending on their price range versus like with my palate. I also have my top 5 favorites on my blog too, so y'all can go check that out. But yeah, it's just not really a criteria, just depending on what that person's preferences are.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So guys, you guys can find you guys can find her blog on the link tree that I pinned up there. Somebody was asking, what's the local distillery in Atlanta? If you're asking what we were talking about, it was called Legends. They're in Cumming, Georgia, but there's a couple of them. I think there's like seven of them.
There's ASW, which is American Spirit Works. They've got a couple of locations. So they've got a distillery, and then they have something called ASW Exchange, which is just a tasting room and a brick house.
Okay.
So it's next to I forgot Monday night brewing too. So you can kind of walk around and drink from them. And then they also have a place at the Battery. So
What? Seriously? I didn't know that.
yeah, it's just like a bar. So you can just go in and you can do tastings and get cocktails, and you can walk around the Battery, which is really cool.
So I'm a big cigar guy. I don't know if you can see the poster here.
Oh yeah,
And
you got Burn right there too.
I was just about to say I was just at
Yeah.
Burn. Well, actually, that was a couple months ago now. But there's another guy in the chat too, Dave. I think he was at Burn. I want to say like a couple days ago. So yeah. Anyways, all right, cool. So yes, I don't know if that answered your question, Jaira. If that was one you were talking about, or if that's one you were asking about. ASW Georgia Heartwood is delicious. Oh, there's also Old Fourth, right? Isn't Old Fourth?
Yeah, so there's Old Fourth, which is actually owned by Short Barrel too. So now they're kind of the same. So you've got them as well.
Oh, Lauren. Oh, I can get this bottle. Oh my God, I rearranged all this stuff. Have you heard of Lazy Guy Distillery?
I haven't had any of their stuff though.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you haven't. You know how I know you haven't? Because you're alive. That's how I know you haven't. So let me tell you something, okay? If you ever see the Lazy Guy 1887 straight rye whiskey for sale,
Bottle's really cool.
that's all they got going for it.
Oh.
Now, this bottle, I don't know if you can see, I got the camera really small, it's like almost gone. It's not because we enjoy it, it's because we use this as a game. You laugh, you drink, it's that bad. This smells like ashtrays. I don't know anybody who's ever had this that hasn't almost thrown up. My wife didn't believe me. We do a Saturday show too, and so she tasted it and was like trying not to throw it. It's so
Leave
bad.
that for people that are coming over that you don't like.
I just don't understand what they were going for with this. But anyways, so yeah, so there you go. Lazy Guy's another one in Atlanta.
Okay, don't recommend that one then.
No, not at all.
And then there's also a new one in Dahlonega, which I haven't gone to yet, which is called Big Creek Distillery.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
That's one I'm planning to go to in a couple of weeks, hopefully. So.
Okay. All right. He said we answered perfectly. So good. I'm glad we answered perfectly.
Okay, good.
And Andrew says, don't forget about 13th Colony. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, 13th Colony. I actually haven't had any of their stuff either. Their bottles are super unique, though.
You haven't had
They're
any of their
cool.
stuff yet? Oh, Lauren,
No.
we got to talk.
I know. I've
gotta
been
give you some
sucked
of their
in by
stuff.
the same things.
Oh man, they're so good. Yeah. Although I guess in your defense, you've been kind of out of market for a little while.
I've been out of commission for
Out of
9
commission.
months.
There you go.
Yeah.
Short barrel guy was at a law distillery looking for a barrel. I don't know. Mark, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Lauren, what is one bourbon you really want to try but haven't had the chance yet? That comes from Rusty in the chat.
I mean, there's a lot of new releases from the past year that I haven't been able to try, but I don't know. I've been out of the game for 9 months, so.
She's just coming back in. So maybe we can flip it and have the chat tell Lauren what she should go snag first. So,
yeah, y'all should definitely do that. Give me some recommendations and I'll write them down.
There you go. Lauren sounds like my wife. She loves the bottle shape, labels, and uniqueness. Yeah.
I do, because when you're looking at the same ones all the time, it's really cool to see something pretty different.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I know we're running short on Ruby time here. So what do you do to stay up to date on the world of bourbon? How do you do your continuing education?
Yeah, so I listen to podcasts just like this.
Yeah.
So listen to podcasts. I like ones that kind of do interviews with the master distillers and talk about the releases and what's going on with the bourbon community, and then also get newsletters from the straight from the distilleries about new releases, and so filled my email, with all that.
It's actually a really good idea. I haven't done that yet. Troy has a good question. What was your first pour after 9 months off? That's a good question.
Well, so actually I had a glass of wine. So for some reason, the whole pregnancy, I really was craving red wine. So I did have wine, and everybody's like, "What? You didn't have bourbon?" I was over in my little corner smelling the bourbon when I was pregnant. It smelled so good. And then my first bourbon, I think I had short barrel. So
there you go. Yeah.
No, actually, it was Maker's Mark. I'm sorry, it was Maker's.
Okay, which Makers? Which one?
Hold on, the bottle's empty. So.
It's empty. Okay, so you legit had some pours. Okay, so
I did not drink this whole thing.
You didn't have a first pour. You had a first bottle after 9 months.
Yeah. That was a good question.
Yeah, I like that question. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people, 13th Colony. Okay, everybody's telling you to try 13th Colony.
Okay, I will go down. I'll go buy a bottle of it.
Yeah, and I can definitely say their bottles are crazy. They're very annoying to stick on the shelf.
Because they're so wide at the bottom, right?
Yes. Yeah, and so Sean, I think Sean's already bailed. He was in the chat a minute ago. We were actually talking about this a while ago. I think they were kind of like a diamond in the rough for a while, just because they're, going back to bottle aesthetics. Their labeling is just awful. Like you would see the bottle and be like, that looks like crap. And then people finally started kind of catching on and drinking them, and I think they really took off. And then the double barreled or the double oaked is like a unicorn now. It used to sit everywhere. And now you can't even find it anymore. And I think Sean's got a honey cask one that's really good too. I
like the honey cask stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't want to mess with all these bottles. I've got one. Okay, I'm gonna do it. What is it? I've got the sour mash. That's the one that I've got. Now the question is, can I pull it out without knocking anything over? Ooh, I almost knocked a double. Ooh, almost knocked 2 bottles over. Hey, I got it out there.
Sounds out there.
Almost knocked over.
I like the color of that.
This $300 chicken cock bottle I almost knocked over, so that would have not been fun.
I didn't have the best experience with the first chicken cock bottle I ever got. The cork went all the way in. I was not happy.
Yeah, I have a, what is it called? I don't know where it is now. Redemption. The Redemption weeded bottle. Pulled it out, cork disintegrated. Had a friend, I was telling a friend about it who bought it, and same thing, disintegrated. So they must have like a problem with their corks.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and it's not fun when it happens. And you gotta like filter it out. You gotta
You
find
get
bottles
excited.
to
I
pour
know.
it in. I know.
How am I gonna fix this?
I know. The things we go through to enjoy bourbon.
Yeah. When
All
it's
right.
an expensive bottle, we'll do it. So.
Yeah. Now it's a bottle of JD, whatever. Well, JD's a
Yeah.
screw cap, so I guess that didn't even count. But you're right. If it
Yeah.
was like my Gatsby Reserve or something, I'm fishing that out all day long.
Yeah.
All right, so tell everybody. I think we already know, and I've got the LinkedIn pinned up here, guys, if you want to check out her stuff. But is there anywhere else you want people to find you on, or to get updates on your upcoming adventures other than the Linktree? Is there something you would prefer everybody to go subscribe to?
No, just my Instagram right now, and that's where I'm going to start posting all my events and all my YouTube channel information, which will be on the link tree too. But if you guys have any further questions, you can just send me a personal message and we can chat about bourbon. So
There you go. Oh, Baker, Laura loves JD, and she goes, Why are we hitting on JD?"
oh, hey, we're not hating. I will tell you a story about Jack Daniels. Is I did hate on Jack Daniels for a while, and then I was very humbled about 4 years ago, 3 years ago,
Okay,
maybe.
do tell.
And I did a blind tasting, and I kept going back to it, and it was Jack Daniels, and I was like, man, this is so good.
No
Because I don't think
kidding.
people don't normally drink Jack Daniels neat.
Which JD? Are you talking about JD7?
Yeah, so just the 80 proof, but
Really?
so just neat, not mixing, because I feel like everybody just mixes it, and then it's like has this misconception about it. But neat, hey, it's not bad.
There, so Laura, there you go. See, she loves it too. That's
Yeah.
crazy. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. I feel like I don't know. I'm gonna do it blind. I wonder if I could pick that peanut note out of something. What did you blind it with? Do you remember? Like what the other bottles were?
It was with some nice ones, so I don't remember. It's probably with like Old Forester 1920 and
Okay.
probably Blanton's because so I always throw Blanton's in a blind tasting
Like
because you have people that say I love Blanton's, it's so good, and they always hate it. They always it's the last choice.
it always is. Bland's is coming. Well, single barrel is always coming last, and our blinds
Yep.
too.
Yep.
I did an Old Forester blind, and I guess I should say, thought that I loved 1920. I have like 4 bottles of 1920. That's how much
1920 is my favorite.
Me too. Until I did it in a blind, and it came in dead last, and 1910 came in first, and
Oh, I'll have to do it.
the 1897 came in second. I couldn't believe it. So
I have to do that because
Wow.
that's my favorite.
I know, me too, and I haven't gone back to it since. Now I drink the 1910, but blinds tell all. I'll tell you what,
They
man.
do.
All right,
They
well,
do.
Lauren, I really appreciate you joining us. I know you were on borrowed time. I can't thank you enough for hopping on here at last minute.
Absolutely.
Everybody go subscribe to her on the LinkedIn thing. Hang on, let me make sure there's no other questions. There's a bunch of stuff in here. I think it's just chatting back and forth. And that's it. All right, Lauren, cheers to you. Thank you. Congratulations
Thank you.
again.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Y'all have a good.
You too. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.